So it seems like everyone's trying to put everything on the blockchain these days. It's almost like Mad Libs. Like the other day I heard about horse saddle on the blockchain, and then I got a pitch about the wank coin. So I guess my question is, is there anything that's not suitable for the blockchain?
No. Everything's suitable for the blockchain. All of you guys, it's all suitable. You can create whatever you want on the blockchain. Your imagination, it's amazing what it's capable of. People's imagination, if with imagination and then just sort of work toward that goal for your life, it will happen. And so I think anything is possible. Now, there are a few things that,
right.
that maybe don't have the long future. And as much as I love CryptoKitties, I do think that kind of thing is going to be there for a while and then go, and then there will be another thing behind it that goes. But no, I think there are no limits. You guys can go. Keep failing, keep trying. You're gonna make great things happen.
What's your kind of framework for thinking about what kind of problems blockchain is a good solution to?
So when I look at a company that comes to me, well, I'll start with ICOs because that's easier. The blockchain there's this wide, big
right.
swath. When people come to me with an ICO, I'm looking for a few things. One is, what happens after the ICO? Is there a marketplace for your coin? Have you created a real network? Is there going to be a network? Do people care? Because the way I look at an ICO is it's like a Kickstarter for a societal transformation. So it's the people who buy these coins, they are in effect paying you on Kickstarter for your societal transformation to happen. They want it to happen. And so if it's got to feel like a movement. Now, if you're talking about the blockchain itself, what the blockchain is really powerful for is securing data. Because once you start securing data really well, all sorts of things can happen. You know what's really interesting about the lights here? My hand is bright red to me. I don't know what it is to you. But on the blockchain, if you can secure that data, then you can do all sorts of things with that data. It can be like a perfect ledger, so you don't need accountants. It can be a smart contract, so you don't need lawyers. It can be like you put those things together with a little bit of artificial intelligence. It could be like the perfect bureaucrat, so you don't need government. Interesting, right?
That's an idea, yeah.
Yeah, the geographic borders are starting to fall, and a lot of it has to do with blockchain. So, yeah.
So fast forward 10 years, what do you think is going to be a blockchain use case that's going to have gone fully mainstream?
Going forward 10 years?
Right.
Okay, good question. This is fun. Okay, so we are, 10 years forward. My guess is that we're going to be able to, think about this. You're going to be able to transport without any problem, vertical takeoff and landing, no problem. You're going to, we're going to have all this amazing medical data on ourselves so that we'll actually probably be able to doctor ourselves better because we'll just say, hey, this is me. This is my genetic history. This is my medical history. Here are my blood test results over the last 10 years. Here's my Fitbit results. Here's what I had for breakfast. Here's where I've traveled. Here's all. You put all that information together. You shoot it up into the cloud, and then deep learning takes place, and you'll end up. It will send you a message. Take 2 aspirin and call me in the morning, or it'll take a message, get on a stretcher, get to the hospital, get a robotic arm to give you a heart operation. The world is going to be very different in 10 years. So, what does the blockchain have to do in 10 years? Okay, for one thing, it's going to store all your medical records so that, and you're going to be able to control that. But it's also going to keep track of all the currency in the world. I suspect a lot of it, like imagine that, that you, okay, let's just break to government. In government, imagine this. First of all, you guys probably know this, but my generation probably is freaked out by it. There's no reason for a bank anymore. There's no reason for, or banks have to reinvent themselves. There's no reason for investment bank anymore. All of these things, the entrepreneur and the no reason for a venture capitalist anymore. You'll see me sort of dissolve into the money and the entrepreneur are going to be better connected, and the organization is going to be much more decentralized. People will operate in places all over. And then you're going to have government. Now, there are two parts of government. There's going to be the terrestrial part of government. That's going to be, I suspect, will still be the same. It'll be your police force and your firemen and and maybe the guy who decides who gets to build what building where. But then there's this whole part of government that right now looks pretty wasted because it's virtual. It's all the safety things. It's your medical insurance, and it's your health, your safety net, your welfare system, and it's your pension for old age, and it's your unemployment insurance. All of that can be virtual. So why does that need to be tied to one landmass when you can have it be virtual? In fact, I'm the third virtual resident of Estonia. You guys are near Estonia. You can become virtual residents too. Here's my Estonian virtual residency card. So people think, somebody's back there taking a picture of it and breaking into my bank account right now. So people look, and the Estonian government already figured out that people don't have to be tied to their landmass to become citizens of their country. So I went to the Prime Minister of Malta, and I said, imagine this. How many Maltese are there? And he said, like, I don't know, 500,000 or something. I said, there can be 1 billion virtual Maltese. And I've been going around to all the prime ministers I can and telling them this so that they're all going to compete for us. They're going to create better pensions and better health care insurance and better, they're going to have to compete because they have to compete across border. All these governments are tied to this landmass, and they've been able to operate as monopolies and do whatever they want. And now they've got to serve people, just like you guys do, just like entrepreneurs have to serve people. The governments do, or else they're going to be shut down. I mean, some of these little governments are in big trouble. They're kind of going, well, wait, everybody's leaving our country. Why? Well, because you're a dictator or whatever. You're messing up. But these governments are going to be able to open up, and the really smart ones are going to go, yeah, we're blockchain government. We're going to give you your medical insurance in Bitcoin, and we're going to provide your pension in Bitcoin, and it's all going to be decentralized, so you know there's not some bureaucrat who's corrupt or whatever taking some of that money. It's fair. The blockchain, if it's nothing else, it's fair, honest, and consistent, and incorruptible. And it hasn't been hacked.
But if you look at the example of banks, for instance, if you kind of look at a developed country like the Netherlands, don't you feel like people don't really mind the current system right now?
Yeah, you know, it's really funny. That's kind of the way people felt about the horse and carriage. And they said, hey, well, hey, I don't mind sitting in the back of this carriage with the thing going around like this and the horse kind of moving. And there was actually, I just read this great quote. people during that time thought that women's uteruses were going to fly out of their body if they went more than 30 miles an hour. Okay, that's whatever, I don't know, 50 kilometers per hour. So they actually thought these weird things were going to happen to people if they got past 30 miles an hour. We know that that is no longer the case. I think that's the same thinking. It's like, hey, I can still, have a banker hold on to my money and then go manipulate it and loan it out to me when I'm broke at 19% and give it back to me at 1%, and I'm perfectly happy with that system, when now all you guys have to do is try a ledger, and all of a sudden the world changes for you. You plug a ledger in. It was like, for me, it was this enlightenment. I plugged the ledger in, I downloaded whatever crypto I was downloading, Bitcoin, something, and then I took it off the internet and I went, oh my gosh, why am I paying the banks? So then I started lending out my Bitcoin, current rate's about 9 or 10%, and I'm trying to invest my Bitcoin, but if you invest your Bitcoin in the US, you pay a huge tax bill.
Does that mean Tim Draper will not be using a bank in 10 years?
Actually, I don't think you will be using a bank in 10 years. I think in 5 years, you're going to go into the Starbucks, you're going to try to pay with fiat currency, and they're going to look at you like that 90-year-old woman taking her pennies and trying to have them add up to $1.
Right. So when teams come to you with their ideas for, a blockchain use case, what are you looking for from that pitch for that team?
So I'm looking for, are you going at, a couple of questions I'll ask, put into your head. Are you going after an industry that is providing bad service at a high cost? So like venture capital, or banking, or insurance, or real estate, or cable, or whatever. Or the one that's providing the worst service at the highest cost, government. Good, I'm glad you're starting to catch on here. Worst service, highest cost. So if you're going after government, it's like the coolest thing. You're taking in this new technology into a field where they're having to finally compete for us, and they haven't invested in new technology for like 4 generations. They've still got like those little green screens and I think some of them have Nokia cell phones. Oh, sorry, Nokia, but please.
You're in Europe now.
Right. And so you have like this huge opportunity. They have to now compete, and you have the technology, and the blockchain can do that for you. And it's really, this is one of the most exciting times in the history of the world. In fact, I think it's bigger. I think it's bigger than the Stone Age. Stones were a big deal back then. The Iron Age, the Industrial Revolution, the Renaissance, the Internet Revolution. It's bigger than any of those. So Bitcoin blockchain revolution, bigger than any of those, because what we're changing is the way society operates, and we're reaching the entire planet. So the idea that a currency would be tied to a government that's tied to a land base, when there's a currency that's global, or even like astro-global, like you can use Bitcoin on Mars, you can use Bitcoin anywhere. But no, you cannot use euros on Mars. And they're tied to political forces. And those political forces can take away your money. You don't think so because it hasn't happened to you, but my friend from Argentina, Sebastian Serrano, he said, my fortune's been taken away from me 3 times, and I've only been alive for 30 years. And so that government has basically swept everybody's bank account 3 times during that 30 years. So he's going, Bitcoin, oh my God. And people say, oh, isn't it volatile? And he says, well, no. 1 Bitcoin is still worth 1 Bitcoin. It's just all the other currencies are falling away in a volatile manner. when they freak out, you know, they, oh, no, ah.
So you
Anyway,
talk
one
about
Bitcoin, still one Bitcoin. It will be for a long time to come. Only 21 million of them.
So you talk about ICOs replacing VC, but obviously venture capitalists like yourself supposedly have better risk tolerance and expertise in picking out early stage companies.
Yeah, we'd like to think so, but maybe not.
Yeah, like, so what do ICOs mean for the future of VC?
I think it's really interesting. Great question. Already, ICOs are like half of the market, right? So I think it's sort of, it does, like if VCs are hardware and Kickstarter is like creating something that makes it so that you can jump ahead, I think then VCs are kind of out of business. But if VCs do hardware and software, if they do other things like vertical takeoff and landing vehicles and whatever else, save the planet things, then it's pretty likely that there will still be room for both. And you as entrepreneurs have to think, well, here's my business, but then you have to think, okay, here's my coin. They're really two different things, and the coin has to have been well thought through. Otherwise, a lot of these coins are going to fall out of business because people hadn't really thought, after the IPO, then what do I do? And so I highly recommend what happens, how do you create a marketplace where somebody actually wants to buy your coin after the ICO, after they've made money in the pre-sale or whatever. What happens when all of a sudden there's a coin sitting there in the marketplace? Who has some demand to buy it? And so that's a really important question. And it seems fundamental, but I don't know, 9 out of 10 of the ICOs that come into me haven't thought about that question.
So what are the biggest differences between kind of investing in traditional tech and crypto technology?
I think it's pretty much, for me, it's the same, except that we use the word buy for buying coins and the word invest for investing in a company. A company is for the good of the shareholders, and an NGO is for the good of society. Well, crypto is sort of this new thing. It's that, it's that Kickstarter thing, so that what we're doing is saying, hey, this is a future I want. This is the governance of my currency. This is how many of these coins I'm going to produce. It's a new way of thinking, and so I think they're all going to have their place, but clearly the crypto world is where a lot of the imaginations are going. So that's exciting.
Right. So to end our conversation, a huge big picture question: how will blockchain change the world?
Well. Okay, here I've got to go to my notes.
A rare moment for Tim.
When Satoshi Nakamoto made a token, perfecto, no friction, cross-border, decentralized, the world he did join was chanting Bitcoin to be global, no quarter, harmonized. Connecting the world with pervasive money. He opened our minds, made the banks look funny, but he kept his head down, he stayed in the dark. We'll never know if it was planned or a lark, but the world past Satoshi is forever changed, whether his origin block is lost or unclaimed. The world is rocked, bankers shocked, bureaucrats too. Governments don't know what to do. We want a new world order. We want to play across the border. I just want to be a hodler on my Bitcoin hustle, on my Bitcoin hustle, on my Bitcoin hustle, yeah. Get your hustle going, flex that crypto muscle. Bitcoin had turmoil. It's been in hot oil when Silk Road, Mt. Gox committed crimes. But Draper said to me, the unbanked economy will use coin to drive better times. He went and predicted 3 years, 10K. The press said, he's stupid, he's nuts, no way. He said if money can transcend borders, the military might stop giving orders. The governments will have to compete for us now, because if we don't like one, we can now bust out. Won't think twice, we control movement and price. We won't be victims of political device. We want a new world order. We want to play across the border. I just want to be a hodler on my Bitcoin hustle, on my blockchain bustle, on my Bitcoin hustle, yeah. Get your hustle going, flex your crypto muscle. So Satoshi, wherever you are, thank you for Bitcoin, the blockchain, and more. You started this snowball from the top of the hill, and now it's pervasive. It's the people's will. It's the people's will. We want a new world order. We want to play across the border. Just want to be a hodler on my Bitcoin hustle, on my Bitcoin hustle, on my Bitcoin hustle, yeah. Get your hustle going, flex that crypto muscle, yeah!